Welcome to Stock Symbol Selects, where we decode market moves, one symbol at a time. Today we're going to talk about Meta Platforms. That's symbol META. Meta Platforms engages in the development of social media applications. It builds technology that helps people connect and share, find communities, and grow businesses. It also aims to create a metaverse for its customers using AI and VR technology. Meta uses AI operations to manage its machine learning models, optimize its products, and remove harmful content from its platforms. Meta also develops and shares AI tools and resources with the research and developer community. So let's have a look at Meta Platforms' weekly chart. First thing we look at is the weekly chart because this gives us the best overview of what's going to happen. The two indicators that I look for first and foremost are the 30-day EMA and the RSI, the Relative Strength Index. The 30-day EMA is pointing upward, so this is a good sign. It must be trending upward in order for it to be attractive. Next is the RSI, and it's at a peak. Relative strength to its peers. It's performing at the top right now. Could it pull back? That's the question. It seems to be unsustainably high at this point. Looking at the volume is steady, but slowly tapering off, we can see. Next, we look at the confirmation indicators, the ADX and DI, the Advanced Decline Index, with the DI positive, the directional indicator positive green line here, which is bounced off the red in past weeks and then now up. But it does seem to be trending downwards, even though the price is trending upwards. So this is slightly declining, as is the volume in the past current weeks. Looking at the MACD, you can see the histogram here, solid green, and it's now turning a lighter shade of green, which indicates that it might be beginning to turn over. So this blue line might begin to turn over, as you can see what happens in the previous weeks here. When it turns a lighter shade of green, it at some point is going to start to turn over. This certainly extended for a long time. So it could turn over, it's possible. In line with the other indicators, it seems like everything's at a peak right now, and it's certainly super steep. Let's fine-tune this a little bit by looking at the daily chart. So here's the daily chart, and when we look at the daily chart, of course, we start with the EMA, and of course, it's trending upwards. The RSI has been riding high for the longest time. Seems to be unsustainable, unrealistic almost to be continuing upward climb at this steep an angle. Looking at the ADX and DI, the DI, positive DI, the green line, it's extended as well. And at some point, it's going to have to come back down to earth, just like gravity pulls everything down to earth. This is my feeling anyway, so I'm looking at the MACD as well, and it is actually trending down now. You can see the red histogram here. It's in the red now, and it actually has turned over. This indicates that it's in a down phase now, even though the price is still trending up. With the volume weakening, I think you'll see this roll over. How far will it pull back? Let's take a look. I've drawn some trend lines here, and if we look at these trend lines here, it must touch at least 3 points and also at least be 1 month in length. So when we look at the bottom trend line here, we're dating back to November of 22, so clearly that's a long time ago, touching many points along the way. This is the general trend line, and it's certainly up. So there's the support line. And the resistant line at the top here is touching all the high points you can see along the way here. So this is a rough outline of what's occurring. Now looking back at a previous high in September of 21, around this zone here, which is about $384, it broke through that recently here in January, and then it jumped. You can see why it jumped, because it broke through that previous high. Very bullish sign. So now it's been riding high on this channel, on a smaller channel here. And we have the 30-day EMA. You'll notice that the price doesn't go much lower than the 30-day EMA in history. Let's zoom in on this. Okay, here we are zoomed in on the current trend. Up to date here, going back just a few months. And it's developing a bit of a channel here at the top. Let's draw some trend lines here to show this channel. Now, we'll start here and continue touching 3 points at the bottom for the support line. We also have this 30-day EMA to consider. having a look at that. And the top trend line is similar to the other trend line that I've drawn, but could be slightly refined. Let's try it from here to along to here. All right, so there's the second trend line, the resistant line at the top. And we're almost at the top of the resistant line now. So I think it's going to bounce between these two lines, continue to bounce between these two lines. And at some point, come back down to earth and touch this EMA or below. So it could come down as far as, let's put that line just beneath the 30-day EMA. So maybe it could come back down to this region here, which might be a buy. Okay? I'm not suggesting that this is going to turn around and drop severely. I'm suggesting that it's going to pull back. And then once it does pull back, that might be a buy point around the mid 400s, okay? The mid 400s, 460-ish. And after that, I think it's going to trend upwards and then through this area here. Once it does trend up through that area there, it's going to really turn up at that point. This is the future. This is the AI future, and Meta is severely integrated into that AI sector. So you'll see this continuing to grow. But I am suggesting that it will pull back somewhere in this region here to the mid 400s, the high 400s, before then reversing and trending back up above this line here. I'm not focusing so much on this support line as much because its history has shown that it does stick close to the 30-day EMA. As you can see here, looking back in time, going back in time, it doesn't trend too far off of its 30-day EMA. So I'm focusing on the current trend here, line, and the 30-day EMA. So I think it will stick to this channel here and then back down below the 30-day EMA to shake some people out because it's dropped below the channel, and then it will trend back up quite quickly and through this resistant line, and once it does, it's going to take off again. So you might want to think about buying this stock here if you're not in already. This would be a safe play once it breaks through this resistant line here. So what is that price? That's in the low 500s, $525, let's say. So either hold it now and don't be shaken out by this bounce here, bouncing in the high 400s, and then it should ride up and break through this resistant line and then pick it up at 525, I would say, for it to then shoot up again. So I hope you enjoyed that outlook on Meta. Remember to do your own due diligence and your own research before you invest your hard-earned cash. Remember to like and subscribe so you get more of this content, and share it with your friends. It helps the channel. Thanks for your time. Have a good day.